Hello everyone, my name's Allie. Welcome back to my channel, Prairie Pearl Knits. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I've never done a non-podcast episode before, so this will be the first time. As you can tell, I got a microphone. It's this tiny little thing, but I'm gonna hold on to it for today, unless I feel like putting it on my shirt. We will see. Either way, my point is, today's video is going to be my fall knitting plans for 2025 to 2026. I tend to group these together because I'm going to be knitting basically the same thing. Our fall and our winter here are pretty much interchangeable, kind of along with spring. We're very cold here in Edmonton, typically, though our summers do get very hot, so hence why I'm not wearing anything knit, because it's literally 30 degrees outside right now. So I'm not having it. I'm not wearing anything knit, and you will have to put up with that. I'm like, which I don't know, maybe it's weird to film like a fall knitting plans video when it's 30 degrees outside in August, but September 1st is right around the corner, and I'm just so ready. I love fall. It is my favorite season. I just love it so much, and I also somewhat enjoy winter. I don't like the snow, but the cold is nice. So a couple things before we get started. First off, thank you guys for watching my last video. It, I'm pretty sure hit the algorithm, so the view count is quite high, and my subscribers doubled from that, so thank you guys so much for interacting with the video and not just watching it. That really meant a lot to me to see. I do not have any plans on turning this into a business or anything, really monetizing generally. I just want to have a community, so that felt really nice. And then also, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Prairie Pearl Knits and on Ravelry at Alyssa is Bored, and I will have both of those linked down below, along with the Ravelry bundle that I made of all these patterns that I'm going to talk about today. It would be way too much work to copy and paste all the patterns down below, one by one. So I just made a Ravelry bundle, and I will link that down below. So because I do tend to knit about a season ahead, I've already made one sweater. I tried to make a cardigan, which we'll get to in a little bit, and I'm currently working on another sweater, and I just have already been kind of thinking about fall knits for a while and started them a little bit ago. I do tend to start a little bit early just so that I actually have them to wear in the season that I'm knitting them for. So there is a couple spring patterns on here as well, because I want to have them ready to be able to wear in spring. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. I did categorize these into accessories and then sweaters. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Now I do also not have yarn for all of these. I have yarn for some, which is right here, which if you had watched my last podcast episode, which I'm assuming if you're here, you probably have, you will have heard about all of these in that episode, but we're going to go over them again today because why not? So the first pattern that I want to knit is the Timmer Mittens by Agnes Brandels. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. This pattern is Aran weight, and it is 18 stitches per 4 inches. It uses 105 to 150. I'm sorry if you guys can hear the sirens. What the flip is going on outside? It is knit on 3.5 millimeter needles and 4 millimeter needles. It is available in 4 languages, none of which are English, but that's what Google Translate is for. So the languages that it's available in is Danish, Finnish, Norwegian, and Swedish. So if you speak those languages, no translation needed. But I do not speak any other language but English. No matter how hard I try, I cannot learn. Oops. But yes, so I'm going to go ahead and knit those. And the yarn that I'm going to use is this yarn right here. This is A&B Fiberworks, which is a local mill. It's from Old Alberta, the farm that the sheep and the alpaca are from. And I think the actual company is based in Linden, Alberta, and this is 70% alpaca, 30% wool, and it is an Aran weight. It doesn't have any information. There's no color, there's no dye lot, doesn't even tell you what weight the yarn is. Kind of just have to figure that out on your own. But based on the conversion, it's 159 meters per 100 grams, and it's a 2-ply yarn. Now, because this is alpaca and wool, I know it's going to be very warm, especially with the alpaca content. Alpaca is warmer than wool, so I thought this would just be a very great pair of easy mittens, and it is also Aran weight, obviously, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. These mittens are so cute. I love the tweedy yarn that they use in the sample. Also, I have my laptop right here. That's why I'm looking over here. They have this gorgeous broken rib texture. I'm a big fan of broken rib. I've realized I think it just looks really pretty. I'd love to knit a broken rib sweater sometime. That might just be a lot of purling, so who knows. Either way, I think it is really pretty, and I'm excited to go ahead and knit this yarn up into those. I don't know when this will happen, but I'm going to have a lot of small circumference knitting time, just like portable project time coming up, so, and for the foreseeable future, so I should probably be able to get these done relatively quickly. It is a very thick gauge. The next pattern that I want to talk about is the Javelin Shawl by Teti Letzek. Again, another name that I cannot pronounce. It's fine. We'll get to some that I can pronounce soon. But this is a really pretty shawl. I've never actually knit a shawl before, but this one has some really interesting texture and just overall design. It's like rib and a little bit of cables. It reminds me of the new sweater that the Creabea is designing, if you've seen that. And I really want to knit this for a specific event ceremony thing that happens in Ukrainian culture. My boyfriend is Ukrainian and his family is too, and there's a ceremony thing that happens every spring that I went to for the first time this year, and where the weather, because it is mostly outside, is kind of unpredictable sometimes, so it is nice to have something to just throw on in case it gets cold. So I really want to knit this, and this reason I specifically chose this pattern is because the designer is Ukrainian, and I thought that would just be a nice little touch. So I do want to knit this in black as well, because it is more of like a morning ceremony. Morning as in grieving, not morning as in first thing at 8 a.m. It is 16 stitches by 4 inches in the stockinette, I believe. Yes, and then 18 stitches for when you get to the texture section. So that is everything about this pattern. Did I say it was DK weight? I think so. Either way, I don't know what yarn I'm going to knit with this, but I do know that I'm going to make it in black because I feel like that's just the most fitting color. I wore a black dress this year. I'm going to wear another black dress next year. Probably not the same dress. I don't want to be an outfit repeater. But then again, who really cares? The next project that I want to talk about is the Sophie Hood by Petite Knit. This is kind of a random choice for me. No one, not even me, would really think this would be something that I would wear, but I also think it'd come so in handy. My favorite winter jacket does not have a hood. It is a nice like trench coat that's gray, and so I really want to knit this in green because I love the combination of gray and green. So I do think I want to knit this. It is Aran weight and 17 stitches per 4 inches in garter stitch, and it is based off the Sophie shawl pattern, Sophie scarf, Sophie shawl pattern. They're the same thing, and it just has like a short row hood to it. I believe it's made out of short rows, and I think this would just be really nice, especially in like end of fall, just as a nice transitional piece going into winter to keep my head a little bit warmer. It's also really cute, and I think would just look so good with my jacket. That's really why I want to knit this. I don't know how much I'd end up using it, but you know what? It's a pretty quick pattern, big gauge, thick yarn, relatively small, so I think it would be a fun time. The next pattern is the Harlow Flip by Andrea Mowry. This is her latest release in the Harlow hat series, and this is a brioche hat, which is a technique that I've practiced using swatches, but I've never actually done a project with, and I think would be really fun to try. When I did swatch brioche for the first time, I did find it really enjoyable, so I think it'd be fun to actually try it out in a project. And specifically why I wanted to do the Harlow Flip instead of the normal Harlow is that, even though I do like this in the normal Harlow too, like I like how it's different. When you flip up the brim, because it's 2-color brioche, the wrong side and the right side look different to each other depending on what color is dominant. And so with the Harlow Flip, you do some syncopated brioche, whatever that means, to make so the part that you flip up is going to match the same dominant color as the color on the top of the hat. So this would be really fun. I kind of want to do like a solid unvariegated. I don't know exactly what colors I would want, but I do just want to try this out. I think it'd be really fun. And I've already been thinking about my knitting bingo for next year because I just find that idea really fun. I've never done it, but I kind of want to do it this year. And one of the things that I have planned out to put on that is a brioche project. So I think this would be for next year, but also maybe like January. But I do think that this would be very fun. It is worsted weight and 20 stitches per 4 inches. And I love this. It's so pretty. Oh, it's so good. I want one so bad. I've been looking at the Harlow patterns for like literally years. I just love Andrea Mowry and her designs and stuff, but I've never knit one before, and I really feel like I should start. I think me and her just vibe design-wise, but I don't know, whenever I come down to actually knitting a pattern, I just don't choose her patterns. So, who knows? So the next And final pattern of the accessories category is the Musselburgh hat by Isolde Teague. I have already knit one of these for my boyfriend, and I have never knit one for myself, and I really would like to. I have a couple yarns that I'm thinking about using that I already have, but I might just go get a new yarn because none of the yarns that I have that I might use for this project are yarns that I would necessarily choose to wear on my head. So who knows? I might figure out what color I want. I kind of just want a nice staple green hat. I know I knit with a lot of green and I like green colors a lot, but that's because I'm ginger and green and ginger just go along really well together. So, but I love this hat. It was so nice. When I was knitting my boyfriend's hat, it used exactly the entire fingering weight skein of yarn, which was beautiful and fantastic. And oh my god, like when I got to the end and I had like maybe a meter worth of yarn left, I was like, this is the most satisfying thing ever. Like, I thought I was playing yarn chicken, and I wasn't. It was exactly enough. It was fantastic. I had like no waste left, and it's just such an easy, flexible pattern you can use. I believe it's anything. Is it till DK? You can use, it's 9 gauges, so you can use anything from light fingering to DK. So it's also 4 layers too. If you've never knit a Musselburgh or you don't know the construction, you probably do. You start at one end of the hat, you increase to the full circumference, knit a giant stockinette tube, and then do decreases to close off the top, and then you fold it in on itself to create like a double layered hat, and then you can fold up the brim again if you would choose to create 4 layers around your ears, which is very warm. And I think that I would follow the same that I did my boyfriend's because it fits so nice. It is not the amount of negative ease you would typically want for a hat, but I just love that like a looser fit. It doesn't feel suffocating, but it's also not going to fall off your head. So I think I would just basically recreate my boyfriend's hat, but in a colorway that I like for me. The next of my fall knitting plans is going to be my garment section, and the first one that I want to talk about is my Louder sweater by Rebecca Clow, aka the Crayabea, and I have not started this yet, but I do have the yarn, and I have swatched. So, I went, like, this is not a podcast episode, so maybe I shouldn't be talking about this part, but I swatched twice for this, and the second one gave me my gauge, but when I was using the recommended needle, which is a 3.5 millimeter needle. Oh my god, was I being stupid? I was being stupid. I swatched originally on 3.25. That's why I was so tight. I was like, why is it a DK or worse weight yarn on a 3.25 millimeter needle? That made no sense. A 3.5 millimeter needle already seems wrong. Like, also seems wrong, but I went up to a 3.75 and I hit gauge, like, exactly. So, it'll be great. But, Jesus, what was I doing? What was I thinking? Whatever, it's fine. Either way, this is a cabled sweater, which is my first cable project. I've done swatches of cable knits before, but I've never done an actual project before. And so I just love the Crayabea. She is one of my favorite YouTubers, knitting YouTubers, but also designers. I think her design style is just so classic and timeless, and she has a lot of unique features to her designs. Also, the mega pattern thing that she likes to do is so refreshing because there were certain designers that find it really fun to make basically identical versions of the same pattern, or to do like a sweater and a vest and then a v-neck version of the sweater and then another v-neck version of the vest and put all of those into different patterns, so you have to buy different patterns every time. The Crayabea, she'll put all of that in the same thing, and that is lovely. I so appreciate that. I think that's so lovely of her to do. So I love this. It is so pretty. So there's 2 different types of cables on this, and one of them is a 6-stitch cable braid, and then the other one's a 4-stitch rope braid. So you're only actually cabling 2 stitches, or 4 stitches, I guess, at a time. And it's not that bad. I do need to get an actual cable needle though, because I've been using a DPN, and that's just not going to work. So this is going to be my next cast on, probably tonight, perhaps. I've bought the pattern and everything, so I'm really excited. There's lots of charts in the pattern. There's lots of pages in the pattern, and it's going to be very interesting to try to read through all of it, but just based on my initial glance at everything, it does seem very well laid out, so who knows. But I'm going to be knitting this in Filcolana Peruvian, which is one of the yarns that she used for one of her samples. This is, let me see, 100 meters per 50 grams, and I did get gauge with it. It is color 221 or time. I ordered this from a yarn store in Ontario, and it came to me about a week and a half ago. So yeah, I'm really excited to knit up this sweater. I just know that this sweater is going to be lovely and so pretty and just gonna look so good on me. You can't tell me that this, like, it's like a dark sage green is not gonna look good on a ginger. So it is a DK weight or worsted weight sweater, and it's 22 stitches per 4 inches. Now the next pattern that I want to talk about is my Afric sweater. Now this pattern isn't even out of testing yet. There is no gauge information or anything yet. I did get the yardage information because she posted that on Twitter for the Knitting for Olive fundraiser, so I did get yarn for it, though I might possibly get the mohair for it. I'm debating. I'm really debating because that would make the project cost skyrocket, but also I've never knit a sweater with mohair before. I've knit a few sweaters, but I've never knit them with mohair because it just drastically increases the price. But this one I know is going to be such a staple to me that I'm like, maybe I could justify the mohair. Maybe I'll let myself. Maybe I should be kind to myself. Who knows? Either way, I did buy the yarn for it already, and it is a really pretty, I'm pretty sure it's a raglan colorwork sweater, and there's like stripes of colorwork all over. I'm really excited to knit it, so I will hopefully be able to put a picture up on the screen if I can find a good enough picture. But I got 4 colors. They are the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino, because it's for a worsted weight, I believe, and it's 125 meters per 50 grams, so a mohair would probably do really nice with this to make up for the gauge. But the main color that I have is this, which is in the colorway Bordeaux. And my secondary color is Bark. And then my third contrast color is Cloud. And my fourth contrast color is Coal. So those 4 together make a really pretty palette. I think that this color scheme is really pretty. So I'm really excited to have this. It's gonna, like, it just screams fall to me. You cannot tell me that this does not scream fall. It does. It's so good. I'm really excited to have this and to knit it. Like, I saw she announced the test call and I was like, I want that sweater immediately. I didn't apply to test it, but I should have, because I really, really want this sweater. The next pattern that we're going to talk about is the Midland Cardigan by Penrose Knits. This pattern hurts me. I knit like basically all of it. The only thing that I had left to do was the sleeves. Everything else was knit. The button band was knit. Everything was done. And then I blocked it to do a mid-project block that I really should have done before I did the bottom ribbing or the button band. But alas, I made a boo-boo. And the yarn I used was way too soft. It was merino and yak, which is not a sticky yarn. I was like, okay, well, it can felt still, so maybe it'll be fine. Because she does specifically say you should use a yarn that is sticky, right? But I didn't listen to her. So I really bit myself in the butt there, but I do really love this pattern. I've been wanting to knit it since she even started designing it like multiple years ago. So I'm going to reknit it, and I'm planning on reknitting it in Sandsgarn Pure Gint in the colorway Natural Tweed, I believe. It's that like creamy tweed color that I plan on knitting it in. I think it'll just be really pretty. I had it in a green before, but I think just a more neutral cardigan would be really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and make that. Also, I do have a green tank top that I wear all the time, so I think that just layered over the green tank top would still give me the touch of green that I love in my wardrobe, but also a nice like neutral cover. It is 18 stitches per 4 inches, and it's a DK weight yarn. And the interesting thing about this pattern specifically, if you don't already know, is it's knit side to side. So you basically, to do the seamless version, you do like a Judy's Magic cast on for the side here, and then you like knit up the front of your body, you knit over the shoulder, and you knit down to the back, and you knit flat because it's garter, and you just do that over and over and over again. You stop going all the way to the back to do some front shaping, and then you join back with the back, knit the back section, you do the left front, or maybe I'm being stupid. This is also my right side. This is my left. Either way, you go do the other shaping, and then you finish off here. You do the button band, the bottom ribbing, and then you knit your sleeves, and it's done. And it actually goes really fast. And it would have been beautiful to have the cardigan already if I wasn't an idiot and used the completely wrong yarn, because I was being slow on purpose, frankly. I knew I was making a mistake, and I still did it anyways, and I really need to not do that anymore. That was really irresponsible, and frankly a waste of money, because I am too lazy to frog all of my progress. It is a double knit button band and then an Italian bound off hem. To unwind that is the biggest feat that I think I will ever attempt, and I don't want to. I really don't want to. But it's fine. I'll get there eventually. So my next garment that I want to knit is the Windermere sweater by Cheryl Mogatari, and this is using heavy merino, and they're, I guess it says a suri, a brush suri held with the heavy merino, but you could use a mohair. And so it's a worsted weight actually, and it's 15 stitches per 4 inches, but it is reverse half fisherman's rib. What is that? Oh my god, does this mean they're gonna be less purling than I expected? Okay, I'm excited for this now, because I think that just means that you don't have to purl around and then knit in the row below. You knit and like either purl in the round below, or you also still knit in the row below. I don't know, but either way, I'll figure it out when I get to the pattern. But I'm really excited for this. It's a half fisherman's rib sweater, and it's so beautiful. She also has a second sweater that's also half fisherman's rib, but it is a drop shoulder sweater, and I really just like the look of a raglan. So especially in this texture pattern, just that like thick diagonal is so nice. I love that so much. It's so good. So I really do want to knit this. I don't know what color I want to knit it in. I'm kind of leaning towards the sample color, where it's just like really pretty simple beige, kind of creamy color, but also maybe like a navy would be really nice, perhaps. But also maybe you knitting a half fisherman's rib in a dark color for my first time wouldn't be the best idea. Though I will say, half fisherman's rib, you do work 2 rows, or each row twice basically, so that'll be lovely. But I'm really excited to knit that when I get to it. I don't know when I will get to it, but I will get to it eventually. Maybe after my Afric sweater, I'll go ahead and put that on the needles. The next one is the Winter Albina by Caitlin Hunter. I just finished my Autumn Alpine sweater by Caitlin Hunter, which I'm knitting. Well, I'm filming this in between my last podcast episode and my next. And my goal for my next podcast episode was just to have both sleeves finished. It's completely done right now. It is currently blocking in my basement. So, in other words, I sped ran that last little bit, and I'm really excited to have it done. It looks so good. I'm so excited. But the Winter Albina is just so pretty. There was specifically a project that I had favorited. Will it pop up for me? This is made by, do you have a name? Brenna Gathering Wool on Instagram. She made this like bright pink and yellow version, and it's so beautiful. It's like strawberry lemonade vibe. It looks so beautiful and springy, and so I'm like, in my head, I'm like, do I want this to be more deeper neutral colors for fall winter, or do I want to have like a summer version of this pattern? Because it is so pretty. It is striped, but there's like this like big block of black at the bottom, and it's like this nice turtleneck pattern. It's also a drop shoulder, which I really like. Drop shoulders are really fun, and I think they fit me really well, specifically like Carabea's drop shoulder, where it's like that European drop shoulder. I don't think I've ever actually knit a drop shoulder sweater like this one, where you're literally just knitting like a flat panel at the back. It doesn't look like there's many increases or short rows. Who knows? I will find out when I like buy the pattern. But I do really want to knit this. I just don't know what colors I want. It is a worsted weight yarn, and it's 18 stitches per 4 inches, so it shouldn't take too long. 4.5mm needles, so it'll be a pretty quick knit. And I just really want to knit it. I like a good stripe. I have a coloring book tee that which is a pattern by Amy Sher, and it's green and white striped, and I think that's really cute. And I think this would just be a really fun, like, I kind of lean towards spring version of it. I'm not gonna lie. It's really cute, guys. It's really cute. The next sweater is the Woodlark sweater by Lynette, or Len, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that, by Lynette and Lynette, one of the two. And it is just a really pretty textured sweater. This is one of those sweaters that I'm like unsure of actually knitting, and it's going to be really dependent on my mood. This is another drop shoulder, I believe. Yeah, it's another drop shoulder, and it's again one of the drop shoulders that's not the like trapezoid drop shoulder. It's just like a flat panel drop shoulder. And I just really like the texture on this. It's like this chevron kind of motif that I think is really pretty, and just looks very like classic and classy, but still contemporary in a way. So now this also has a lot of positive ease in it, so it's like a pretty throw-onable oversized sweater, and I think it's really cute. I don't know if it'd be fully something that I wear though, which is why it's a tentative plan, but I do have interest in it. It came out like 2 years ago, so it's not that old of a pattern. I also don't know what color I knit it in. That's the issue. I feel like a lot of times when I see sweaters that I really genuinely want to knit, I know immediately what color I want to knit them in, which I know there's been a couple patterns that I'm already like, I don't know what color I'd knit it in. But those ones are also designs that I'm like so obsessed with that I think I would for sure knit this one. I think it would be nice to have, but I don't think it'd be my most worn sweater. So that one is tentative. So I have 2 honorable mentions. I'm not going to get into them so intensely, but I do want to mention them as well. The first one is the Fidalgo cardigan by Michelle Frazetta, and it's a worsted weight or DK weight. Actually, I was watching her video. It was a heavy DK or light worsted that would work well for this pattern, and it's a broken rib cardigan, so I think that's really cool. It's also drop shoulder. And then there's the Lakes Pullover by Ozetta. Everyone knows this pattern. It's the Lakes Pullover by Ozetta, come on, which is a saddle shoulder construction. It's again worsted weight 18 stitches per 4 inches, and this is a saddle shoulder, so it's a construction that I've literally never done before. I feel like I've done a good number of constructions in my life, but I've never done a saddle shoulder, and I just really want to see how it fits. Plus, a lot of these patterns have something more visually interesting going on. Something I really like about knitting is, or something that I really prioritize in my knitting specifically, is having something interesting, whether that's construction or visually or texturally, just something like that to, one, keep my interest, and 2, make it visually interesting. And that can be something as simple as like a tonal yarn, specifically like things that are texturally or visually interesting, like colorwork or a broken rib or a cable or a brioche or something along those lines, like a lace. And this doesn't have really any of that. It does have the saddle shoulder part that is a little bit visually interesting, but generally it's just like an all over stockinette sweater. But because it has that saddle shoulder, and I've never made one before, I want to see what it looks like on me and see if I like the fit of it. Because if I do like the fit of it, then that opens the door for a lot of patterns for me. So I think this is just a very staple sweater as well. Very sweatshirt vibe. So I do really want to knit this, but we'll see. If I need like a simple stockinette project or something that's going to be really easy, I'm probably going to go for that one. So now we're going to move on to the projects that I'm thinking about for spring. There is 3 of them. I will go with, which order should I do these in? I'm going to do the one I'm most excited for last because, oh my god, the vision is in my head completely. So we'll get there. But the first one is the Marielle blouse, and this is by Maria's Verdun. Sorry, again, my pronunciations are not that great, but this is knitting for all of merino and soft silk mohair held together. I don't think I do that combo because I'm already going to plan on knitting mohair in a couple projects. So who knows if I want to do it again. But this is a really pretty, just delicate, like, this is lace as you would see it in, like, a Victorian child's bedroom wallpaper, if you get the vibe of what I'm talking about. Like, I could see this as wallpaper, and I find that really pretty. It's just, like, delicate. Like, lace knitting already is quite delicate, but the way this is set up, where it's just, like, these vertical lines, just looks so... I don't want to say wallpaper again, because I feel like that just, like, boils it down to something so mundane, but it just looks childlike, but in a very sweet way, and I think this would be a beautiful throw-on sweater in the spring to just go grab coffee with a friend, you know? Go run a quick little errand, go to the library, and I could really see this in, like, a pastel color. My mind immediately goes to pastel green, but I think a baby blue or a lilac would be super pretty in this color, but like exclusively pastels. I could not see this in a dark color at all. I'm gonna check the projects. Has someone knit this in a dark color? They have. Okay, this is actually really cute. It's really cute in a dark color, but it doesn't have the same vibe to me that I want. I just like it in a pastel. Like, this one person is doing Petite Knit Sunday and they have it in this gorgeous lilac color. Oh, that's so pretty. I love that color combo. I'm going to favorite this project. There we go. Either way, I really do like this pattern as well. Did I say the gauge? It is 20 stitches per 4 inches. And again, it's merino and mohair. And it's on 4mm needles. This one is not super size inclusive in the way that the jumps between sizes are a lot. So there's only 6 sizes, but it goes up to a 61 3/4 inch bust, which is really only like 54, I think. I've not been saying sizes for most of these. The vast majority of them are size inclusive, I believe. I think the only one that might not be so far is the Windermere sweater. I don't know the size range on that. All the other ones are definitely size inclusive, and this one is size inclusive as well. The next one that I want to knit, which I have been wanting to knit this for literally years, since it basically got released 3 years ago, is the Ingrid Summer Sweater by Gregoria Fibers. I love this thing so much. Oh my god, I've been looking at this for years, but I've never gotten the balls to knit it. I would definitely knit this in Santa Garn Line. There's a specific color that I really liked I can't remember the name of it, but Santa Scarline for sure. And I just, oh my god, I love this so much. This feels like, I love wearing sweaters year round, but obviously a wool sweater in July doesn't work. But having something for like a little bit, if it's a little bit chilly or a little bit windy and brisk, this would be so pretty, and I want it so bad. So I think I'm gonna cave and knit it. I don't know if this one's fully size inclusive. Yeah, it's only intended to fit a real bust circumference of 49.2 inches, but I'm gonna knit it anyways because I want to. Though it doesn't seem like that complicated of a pattern if you wanted to make a bigger size either. Is it seamed? Okay, it is in the round. I was like, it looks like it's seamed, and I'm like, I don't want to knit this if it's seamed. I really don't, but it's not seamed, so thank God. I'm not doing that. I don't feel I love the sweater. Do I care enough to have to seam a garment? No, I hate mattress stitch. Mattress stitch and me, we're mortal enemies, and I think that's okay. So the last pattern that I'm going to talk to you guys about today that I'm so excited for, oh my god, is the Electrine Sweater by Johanna Garish. This pattern, oh my dear god, I love this so much. The lace at the bottom of the bottom of the body, at the bottom of the sleeves, the bell sleeves, the like slight crop to it. Oh my god, the I-cord neckline. I'm so obsessed with this. I have tentative plans to go to Knit City next year, and I want to wear this to Knit City. I think people would love this. I think people would ask me about it a bajillion times, and I want to talk to people about knitting so bad. I specifically want this in a fuchsia. Not a magenta, not a bright purple, not a hot pink, a fuchsia. Where it's like kind of a little bit darker. There was one project that I saw, which is Anna, I believe is this person's name. They're from Berlin, and they knit it in like this really pretty red color, which is what sparked my obsession with the pattern and the idea of it in a fuchsia, because I think the fuchsia would just be, gorgeous. I'm so excited. I wanted it so bad. This will be my treat for casting on next year, I think. This might be the first thing I cast on next year. I'm so excited. I want it so bad. The only reason I'm not casting it on right now is because I know I'm probably going to want to knit it in a hand-dyed yarn and a suri. Because this is DK and lace. It's a 21 stitch gauge per 4 inches. So it is 2 yarns held together. And I think a nice, because you can only get such vibrant colors from commercial yarns. I feel like most commercial yarns do not have the vibrancy that hand-dyed yarn has. And so while I don't usually like to knit garments out of like hand-dyed yarn because of the cost barrier, I might have to make an exception for this because it is so pretty. And size inclusivity wise, now that I remember about that, is good. Yes. I believe we should be okay. It goes to 5XL, so we should be okay. Either way, I love this sweater and I want it so bad. And I need people to talk about it so I can see a bunch more and get more inspiration for this because I love it so much. Like the lace, do you guys see this lace at the bottom? I'm so enamored. I'm so obsessed. I need one expeditiously. Like I needed one yesterday, actually, I think. It's so good. It's so good. Now I'm going to be doing a lot of like sock knitting and just general hat knitting because my new job that I got requires me to bust like 3 hours a day. So I'm going to do a lot of train knitting. I'm probably only going to get like maybe an hour because I'm only going to have like an hour of consistent sitting down during that commute. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of getting on and off transit and waiting. So I'm going to get a lot of sock knitting done too. I have no sock patterns that I really feel called to knit yet. I do want to knit some Colorwork socks next year. But until then, I'm just going to knit my vanilla sock patterns that I like. The few that I kind of rotate between. And yeah. I just want to keep knitting sweaters now. I want to go buy yarn right now. That's all I want to do. Maybe I should go to the yarn store. No, I should be responsible and not go to the yarn store and bust $150 on a sweater quantity right now. But I'm really tempted. Specifically for my Midland cardigan, because I know what's going to be one of my next cast-ons. So yes, that is everything that I'm planning to knit this fall-winter, and some spring knits that I'm thinking about knitting to prepare for spring. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments if you guys have anything that you're planning on knitting this upcoming fall season. I would love some more inspiration. I cannot promise that I'm going to knit every single one of these patterns and anything. Some of them are more tentative than others, and also I just like to knit whatever's inspiring me. And if some of these I end up in 4 months being like, I don't like this anymore, then I'm just not going to knit it. So do not hold me to this, okay? I cannot promise anything, but I am really excited to just start knitting for fall, continue knitting for fall, really. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys next week for my 7th podcast episode. Can't believe we're at number 7. I've been doing this for 3 months. I can't believe it. Yes, that is everything that I have to share with you guys. Again, my Instagram, Ravelry, the Ravelry bundle of all these patterns will be down below, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.